So I was, I had just quick though. I finished the review last week for the chapter, and then I somehow didn't end my recording, and then before I realized it was like 45 something minutes, and I didn't have time to make another one. So I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I'll just wait a week. But in the previous chapter, this is to run it up fast. And I won't just like two word it, but they went and they found the what was it, or how was its name pronounced, Origumo magic. It was just seems to be it's based off of a spider design. It makes silk and webbing. I imagine for Ichi that's going to be a great addition just for traps and stuff that I would like assume for mobility. He could Spider-Man around, use it for defensive, use it just in utility. There's a lot of general usage I imagine he's going to be able to do with that. And I'm hoping that that's going to end up being more so what Ichi is focused on acquiring is magics that are essentially like, even though they have a set purpose, he is able to associate them with some way of like a hunting tool. Like, again, imagine just the idea of what he could do with rope is like, it's a magic super rope pretty much with the silk. So he would have such a larger array of yield when it comes to his traps and his tools once he gets goes from, yeah, I have a rope that I made using natural stuff in the environment, to I have this magic spider silk that does all this stuff and maybe has like an additional power on top of that. But the whole bit was we had with this guy Goku Raku. I don't want to mess up his name. He seems pretty cool. I like his character. He made it so and this was interesting because does it mean that he can use some magic tools because he modified his body, because he has this ring, and I'm guessing like any of these like bracers and stuff as well are magic tools for his setup. And he says that he augmented his body. You can see his spine, and it's like, okay, well, is he able to touch magics because specifically he has this in his body, but then he has the magic tools that are that he can use in general? Because I wonder if he had to do this the bit where his insides and aspects of his physical makeup were modified, and then he could use the magic items, or can anyone use the magic items, but not everyone can interact with magics and stuff. And again, that's just something in the verse that's like, it's very new and very well. The verse is general new, but this is another new concept that's been added in. But he's somebody who just uses brute force to go and smash all these magics and try and acquire them, and he believes that they, as magical creatures, should be able to figure out a way to ignore any rules and make him into a man that can use magic. And I actually really disagreed with Ichi in that chapter, because he's not like enraged, but he talks to Goku Raku almost in like in a very tense set, like dead stare, that he's if you can't kill it, don't hunt it. I think that that's actually just a really dumb thing to say, and I get where Ichi's coming from, because it's the more idea that this guy's torturing something that he can't kill. But one, we know for a fact that the magics go out of their way a lot of the time to kill and cause chaos. There seem to be very rare some, we have prophecy, but I wouldn't imagine any of them by default are going to have any form of moral code that doesn't involve just slaughtering, because we know that even, was it like the oh god, I don't want to mispronounce its name, Inazuri, it was just killing animals in the forest for no reason other than to attract humans and well, witches specifically, to come after it, to think it's to essentially admire it as some mythical amazing magic. And we know that like they're very vain. They are not creatures that seem to again be in any form keeping to themselves or don't go out of their way to cause problems. So I just don't really see the issue in kind of responding to any of these magics with extreme violence and anything you can to, even in the idea of not being able to kill it, if he terrifies these magic so much that they go into hiding and they just don't mess around with humans for, potentially years. That's a big fair win on the part of the witch, on society, rather, on humans. So I don't really like the idea of telling him that. Two, the thing is, like, all of the witches literally kill the magics until they can figure out how to acquire it. And in his case, he believes that there has to be a way around the trial. And I kind of think it's fair for him not to trust one of the magics, because it's like it would make sense why they would lie. And they're not like raw evil, but as far as we can, like, generally, again, they are not for humans. They are 100% on their own, and they will say and do anything they want to kind of sustain themselves and to boost their existence, essentially. So that I would definitely not agree with when it comes to um Ichi's wording on it. But also, if, like, think of the idea if he was able to figure out a way around it as well, and how much it would benefit people. There's a lot in this that I just don't agree with Ichi's whole concept on this, because this guy, and on top of that, just as like a small note, as a hunter, that's one of the things you would be trying to do. You would be trying to figure out how you could kill this thing. And even if it's like, well, you have to do this thing, you did it, and I, you didn't acquire me. It's like, again, why would you believe it? It doesn't make sense that you would just say, oh, well, it said it, so it must be true. And he's not even really bothered by that. He just thinks that it's really cool and interesting that Ichi was able to use and acquire magic, and then grabs him and runs off. So this is the point where I think his character, personally, to me, got more interesting, but also to where he needs, like, to where we're gonna find out kind of also like where his character pivots, because we do get in the current chapter, I guess the most recent chapter, Ororo is like saying like, hey, kill him, and I'll and you'll be a step closer to getting magic, because it's clear that if you have one that is outside the rule to acquire magic, I would assume that Ororo isn't the only one. I would it just, because especially with the World Hater magic too, we know that the Ororo isn't the top, so there's probably other magics that are on his level that are like exceptions to the general rule. So similar to like how he doesn't have one of those magic stones, there's probably like a handful out there that do. So if I was him personally, I wouldn't kill Ichi. I would say, okay, well, you actually could potentially, because Oro, he's got knowledge and stuff that goes well beyond what any of these guys have as a human, because he's lived way longer, and as a magic, he probably knows other magics. So I would be trying to get more information out of him, and I think it'd be just more of a risk if you killed Ichi and then let Oro out, because then you have to directly fight him. If you aren't strong, say like you aren't strong enough to do it, you've now just wasted your one chance. Because it, like, say even if you wanted, like, you were gonna go with it and kill Ichi, you would, it would be like an instant, like, you are now in the boss fight. It's a one and done situation. If you can't beat him here, you're pretty much dead. You would want to be 100% ready, even in that case. So I definitely wouldn't do it, especially in this scenario. But I think it would be way more beneficial for him to stay with Ichi, figure out any information he can get, because as long as he stays with Ichi and his group, he is going to be able to get closer to potentially running into another one of these magics that they would be able to, or that he could potentially acquire and then use on his own and become a witch. So we'll see how that's gonna all play out in the next chapter. I don't think he's gonna kill him. He doesn't seem to me like that kind of character, because he doesn't like attack he doesn't attack Deskross at all. Like he like messes with her. He like, he's like playing a little bit of banter. He calls her like girly. You can tell that she gets annoyed. But when she like first traps him in a into this like cool little turtle cage, he just breaks through. He doesn't attack her at all. And when she summons like that much bigger like little bell prison little trap, still, like, it doesn't seem like he tries to really go at her. And I don't think that he knows how strong she is. I would assume she is, like, if they directly fought, I think Deskross would more than likely win, because until she is disproven as the top, because I don't think she's actually the top witch currently. I think she'd be close, and she has the potential to be top, but I'm willing to bet there's a few witches in the verse that are stronger than her at the moment. I think that just makes sense in the grand scheme of things. but he doesn't, again, he doesn't respond at her with violence. He doesn't attack her at all. He just, he digs down under the ground and then makes his escape. So, and on top of that, when he gets out, and there's this goat that they like end up in his territory, and he actually like digs straight up into like a little spot where it's like gets shit all over him. But he's like, oh, whatever, I'm sorry, goat, like I'm just gonna leave, don't mind me. And he wasn't gonna attack him until the goat attacked him, and then he just killed him. And not only that, not only did he kill him, but he took the body and he decided like they were gonna cook and eat it. So he didn't waste the kill. So like in what he's shown this chapter is this aggressive side of his is only towards the magics, because he wasn't aggressive. He hasn't been aggressive towards Ichi. He wasn't aggressive towards Desgras. He wasn't aggressive towards the animal. He responded in defense, but also took us an opportunity to have food. And on top of that, he didn't do anything to make the animal suffer. He made the magic suffer, but he killed the animal instantaneously, which Ichi brought up. And that is something to me that is a very character moment that we'll say in the next chapter. I think he's going to deny Ororo. I think it'll be really funny as a ongoing thing as well if Ororo's constantly trying to make deals with people, but every time he tries to like do this dark shady deal, it's always with this person that is like, no, what, why would I do that? He never runs into that greedy person who's like, yes, finally my chance for power. Like Goku Raku is just like, no, this guy seems nice, and on top of that, like, if anything, I shouldn't trust you. Like, you're a villain. Like, you are clearly a bad magic. Because if what I believe is true, if he has a history again that he that is stemmed in hatred towards magic, because he even mentions that he made it so his body, because he says he's an anti-human, anti-magic augmented human, because he made it so his body can touch magic and he can interact with them, and then that way he can fight them. And the reason is he really wants to punch one of these magics in the face. And when I was reading the chapter, there was like, okay, is there the possibility he's talking about Ororo, just because Ororo was literally one of the big guys going around wrecking stuff and being crazy. But when he meets Ororo, he doesn't, there's no aggressive reaction. So there's clearly another magic that he is after. My guess is that magic is going to be another one in the same class as Ororo. I don't know. I don't imagine it's going to be stronger than him. We'll probably wait a while to see the members that are in the same category area that are stronger than him. Because the World Hater Magic, as far as we know, he's in a class of his own. And it's probably like one spot below him. There's like, I don't know, 10 or something of the magics that are like some special breed, and these are the ones that are in the same category as Ororo. And maybe Ororo's like third or fourth, and the only ones we're gonna see above him are gonna be way later. But I would assume that whichever one Goku Raku is, after, is going to be where he gets his power to become a male witch. Because to me too, it would make sense to where he'd be like, one, I'm not gonna kill Ichi just because you're trying to tempt me. Two, I don't have a reason to believe you. And three, he, like, Oro potentially is set for a way to get information potentially towards this magic that he's after. And if he kills Ichi, he lets Oro out, and Oro is, now he has to fight him, and he would have to like get his power. Or it's like he can just leave him there, and Oro is powerless. And at some point, he's gonna have to give them. He's gonna get the information of him regardless. There's a lot for Goku Raku to just not do it, and I think that that's just going to make the most sense to me. I really doubt that he is going to kill Ichi or even try in the next chapter, because if all these things just align up and make sense, that he's not going to be one of these characters who's ruthless towards anything other than magics, because he's like, I specifically I completely augmented my body and did all this experimentation so I could fight a magic. And then he's super aggressive towards magics, but he's not aggressive towards any of the humans that he interacted with. He's not, he wasn't aggressive towards the animal. He made sure that when he killed the animal, it was painless, instant, and then he honored the animal and ate all of it. I don't know if they kept the pelt anywhere. I don't know what they did with the pelt. Maybe they put it up for the birds. The birds can make some nests or something. But when you lay all these things out, and again when he saw Ichi use magic, he didn't even look jealous. He thought it was cool. He's just like, wow, this is actually really, that's really awesome. Like, this is the guy that could get me to figure out what I want to know. Because he didn't try and like instantly kill him. Because he's smart enough to know that like you kill a witch, like her, like I would assume if he's done research into it, you kill a witch, the magics go away. But like that doesn't really benefit him at all. And on top of that, when you think about it, if he really does hate magics like a lot, not like raw hatred, but like he does dislike them, he doesn't trust them, and he knows how dangerous they are. If he killed Ichi, how many is that right now? It's how many does Ichi just got one more, and he's got oh god, I can't remember the shark. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Inazuri and Oro. So he's got 4. Unless I'm forgetting one, that would instantly put 4 magics out in the world. And well, did they instantly go back? That I don't remember. I think Oro would probably instantly go back, but the other ones maybe take some time. I don't really know. But I mean, he would be potentially letting loose one of these calamities into the world, and if his backstory is based in this, some form of event from a magic that led to his, something bad in his life, probably one of those childhoods where a magic like slaughtered his family, killed his village, brought ruin to everywhere around him, it would make sense that he wouldn't want to let another, like, he would let one of these magics out that could do that. Like in my mind, that would make sense of why he wouldn't attack Deskros, and he would be like, well, he's never killed a witch, because he'd be like, well, yeah, I don't want these magics out in the world. It makes, because if he wants to acquire magics too, it makes sense, because he would be locking them with him and making sure that they aren't out doing crazy stuff and killing people and animals and destroying habitats and environments all for their own ego. So and it's bits like that, I think, that once revealed and it starts to kind of really lay out some of these characters, we're gonna begin to really get in the stride and momentum of the verse. And I know that the series itself has been really doing well, and I think it's in the hundreds of thousands now for sales numbers right now. It's taken off. Kagurabachi's got its competitor now in the magazine. And I mentioned personally, for me, I like my favorite of the new gens. I mean, for Jump is Kyoshi, and then over in other magazines outside of Jump, I guess specifically it was Galaxia's. My only thing specifically with Ichi is there's not as many characters that I like, and it's like, okay, we got another guy that it makes sense to me to be added into the main cast, and if all these parts that I mentioned is backstory line, it'll be an additional character that I really like, so it'll improve the structure of the verse. I doubt that this guy's gonna act the way he's acted and then become a villain in the next chapter as soon as opportunity arises. I don't think so. My guess is he's going to be those characters. He's a really nice, good guy, but when it comes to magics, he just does, like, he doesn't care, because he doesn't see them as people. He doesn't see them as anything other than pretty much a physically manifested dangerous power. But other than that, yeah, tell me in the comments below what you think about this, what you think about this chapter, and I guess chapters, and what you think about this character. Because I like Deskros. I know she's really popular. I don't love her. This would probably be the first character that would start to really kind of rank on my list. I know he's gonna already be on a lot of people's list because he's cool in design. He's gonna be smashing stuff. And then I know the chick saw his tongue piercing in this chapter. They're probably gonna be talking about that for a while. But other than that, I think his character is a good addition that will add a layer of additional like fighting force without it just being either Ichi is lower in strength, but he's more smarts and traps and combat skills, but he's got the Oro big boost attack. It then lower drops out for out of the fight at that point. And Deskros is clearly still way up there, and like I said, she says she's at the top. I believe personally she's close, but not at the very top. It wouldn't. Once we get more information about other witches that are extremely powerful, maybe that'll change, maybe it won't. But it adds a character that we don't have Ichi having to do everything either as a strat or all in, or Deskros just come in and steamrolling most other scenarios. And because I think at some point we need to get like one more, maybe two more, I think plus one more at least lower level character, and then like would even things out, because then we can get to the point where we have enemy groups and stuff, and there's not just, yeah, we're gonna all fight one thing, because that way you can have to say, okay, Desperados is gonna fight whatever boss character she's gonna be out enduring in her fight, and then, you know, move around different characters in different scenarios to where it's not going to just be the same style of, you know, Ichi underpowered or overpowered and Desperados just overpower stuff. And you need to have the apparent top magic of all magics just show up to really stir up a unwinnable scenario as long as he's there. But anyway, other than that, tell me your comment in the comments below what you thought about the chapter and what you think's coming up. I don't think he's gonna want to kill this Ichi in the next chapter at all. But I'll talk to you guys in the next one.